My name is Sabika, and I was a typical Muslim woman, faithful, devoted, and deeply rooted in my religion. I lived according to the Quran and honored traditions passed down through generations. I believed in Allah with my whole heart, and my life revolved around serving Him. But my faith was about to face an unimaginable challenge. It all began on a day I'll never forget. It was a beautiful afternoon, clear skies with crisp air scented by freshly turned soil. I'd just finished errands, ticking off tasks on my family's list. Nothing hinted at the disruption that would soon alter my life's routine. Yet, on that day, my life changed forever. Driving home, the unexpected happened. A reckless driver barreled through a red light and slammed into my car. The powerful collision sent my vehicle spinning wildly before flipping upside down. The screech of metal and shattering glass filled my ears. Then silence. Everything faded to black. At least that's what I thought. But what followed defies earthly explanation. Opening my eyes, I was no longer trapped in the twisted wreckage of my car. Instead, I stood within a vast ethereal realm, completely unfamiliar to me. The atmosphere felt wrapped in divine serenity, a gentle luminescence enveloping everything. This place wasn't heaven or hell. It was otherworldly but calming, as if earthly burdens no longer existed. My body felt weightless, free from pain. I soon realized with a jolt, I was no longer in my physical form. It was as though my soul had separated from my body. For the first time, I experienced true peace. I don't know how long I was there. Minutes, hours, maybe days. Time lost its meaning. Immersed in wonder, absorbing my surroundings, I suddenly heard a voice. It was soft yet powerful, resonating deep within me. "Leila!" it called. Instinctively, I knew the voice spoke directly to me. "I have been waiting for you." I spun around, seeking its source. That's when I saw him, a tall man radiating calm and peace. His eyes exuded warmth, surrounded by brilliant light that wasn't painful to behold. He wore simple, ancient garments. His face was strangely familiar, though I couldn't immediately place him. "Who are you?" I asked, awestruck and confused. "I am Jesus," he replied, his voice melodic, vibrating through my heart. Jesus! The name jolted me. As a Muslim, I revered Jesus, or Isa, as a great prophet, but never as the Son of God. My faith taught me Jesus performed miracles but was not divine. Yet here he was, undeniably present, speaking to me. "You're Jesus?" I stammered, the words unfamiliar. He gently nodded, a compassionate smile on his lips. "Yes, I am he, and you were chosen for this moment." My mind struggled to grasp this revelation. How was this possible? Jesus had ascended to heaven, according to my beliefs. Yet here he was, conversing as naturally as an old friend. Reverence mixed with confusion gripped me. "Why am I here?" I asked, my voice shaking. "What happened to me?" Jesus' gaze softened, sensing my turmoil. "You are here because your earthly journey ended in an accident, Leila. Your life was taken at that moment." My throat tightened. "But I'm not dead, this can't be real." He placed his hand gently on my shoulder, radiating an indescribable warmth penetrating my very essence. "You're not dead, Leila," he reassured me. "You've been granted a second chance, a chance to see the fullness of truth." I struggled to comprehend it all. Was this a dream, a hallucination? Yet nothing seemed unreal. His presence, his words, the deep sense of love, everything felt profoundly true. "Why me?" I asked, overwhelmed. "Why reveal yourself to me, a Muslim woman who saw you only as a prophet?" Jesus looked deeply compassionate. "Because you've been seeking truth. You've faithfully followed your beliefs, yet within you existed an unfulfilled yearning. You are here now to witness truth firsthand." My mind raced. I'd never openly doubted my Islamic faith or questioned Allah's existence. Still, beneath it all was an emptiness I couldn't name. I hadn't sought Jesus as God's son like Christians did. Yet his words, his eyes, stirred something profoundly within me. "I don't understand," I admitted. "You're revered as a prophet in Islam, but you speak differently. You're claiming divinity. How?" Jesus gently smiled. "Faith is a journey, Leila, a discovery. You don't need all answers now. Open your heart sincerely and truth will reveal itself. This is how you'll find God." I wanted to argue, question more, but an overwhelming peace silenced me, a peace that clarified how limited my previous beliefs had been. Jesus' presence radiated unmistakable truth and profound love. As suddenly as he'd appeared, he started fading away. The surrounding light dimmed, heaviness returned to my body, pulling me back to earthly reality. "You're not done yet, Leila," he whispered powerfully. "Return to life remembering the truth you've experienced." Just like that, everything faded. My soul returned to my injured body amid chaos, noise, and pain. I awoke in a hospital room surrounded by doctors and family who looked stunned I'd survived. In a way, perhaps I had defied death. Despite severe injuries from the accident, I'd survived miraculously, baffling doctors who had no medical explanation. But I understood what had happened. I'd encountered Jesus. Now, life could never return to what it had been. I couldn't ignore the truth I'd seen. But could I reconcile this newfound understanding of Jesus as God's Son with my Muslim upbringing, my family, my community? I wasn't sure yet. Yet one thing was clear. I could never go back. I'd heard his voice, felt his presence profoundly. Now, back in the hospital bed, surrounded by my family, everything had changed. My mother's tearful eyes, my father's unreadable face, my brother Omar's anxious shifting, all showed the gravity of what had occurred. "You're awake," my mother whispered, gripping my hand tearfully. I tried responding, but words wouldn't come. My body ached from the accident, yet deep within, something fundamental had changed. I'd experienced something extraordinary, something impossible by everything I'd known. The doctors called my recovery miraculous. My injuries healed inexplicably fast, defying logic. Lying in the hospital, I remembered Jesus' words clearly. "Return, but never forget you've touched the truth." How could I ever forget? As days passed, I recovered quicker than anyone anticipated. My family thanked Allah fervently for sparing my life, offering heartfelt prayers of gratitude for my survival. But I couldn't join them in prayer. Not yet. Not after what I'd experienced. One evening, as I sat quietly by the window in my hospital room, my father entered. He was a strong man, deeply faithful, unwavering in his beliefs. I knew this conversation was inevitable. "What happened, Leila?" he asked firmly yet gently. "You were unconscious for hours. The doctors say your survival was impossible, yet here you are. Do you remember anything?" I hesitated. My father was devout, deeply traditional in his Islamic faith. How could I tell him I had met Jesus, not as a prophet, but something far greater? I don't know," I lied, dropping my gaze. "I only remember the crash, then nothing." He studied me thoughtfully. "You've been given a second chance, Leila. Allah spared your life. Show your gratitude and return to him." I nodded, afraid to speak further. I wasn't ready to share the truth yet. After leaving the hospital, I returned home but felt like an outsider in my own life. My family resumed their normal routines, continually praising Allah for my miraculous survival. I tried to pray as before, but the familiar words felt hollow. Each time I closed my eyes, it wasn't Allah I saw, it was Jesus. His compassionate eyes, his gentle voice calling me toward truth. Was entertaining these thoughts betraying my faith? I couldn't confide in anyone. They would think I was losing my mind, or worse, betraying Islam. Fearful of the consequences, I secretly searched for answers late at night. Alone, I read accounts of others who claimed similar encounters and compared the Bible to the Quran, growing increasingly conflicted. Eventually, I sought outside guidance. Sarah, a Christian classmate at my university, was known for thoughtful discussions about faith. I found her studying theology in the library. When she saw me, she smiled warmly. "Leila, how have you been since the accident?" "Sarah, can we speak privately?" I asked hesitantly. She nodded, leading me to a quiet corner. Finally, I confessed aloud, "I saw Jesus." Her expression was calm, though her eyes widened slightly. "You saw him?" I nodded. "He spoke to me. He said I was given another chance to seek truth." Sarah exhaled slowly. "Leila, that's amazing. But what does it mean?" I asked desperately. "I've always seen Jesus as a prophet, but in that moment, I felt something undeniable. Now I'm lost." She met my gaze gently. "I can't tell you what to believe, but Jesus reveals himself to anyone genuinely seeking. Pray and ask for guidance." Praying to Jesus felt alien, yet wasn't that exactly what he asked? That night, instead of reciting familiar Quranic prayers, I closed my eyes and softly whispered, "Jesus, if you're truly who you claim, show me. Help me understand." For the first time since the accident, genuine peace filled me, not from ritual but something deeper, profoundly real. I didn't yet have all the answers. Uncertainty filled me regarding my family, my future, and my place in society. But one thing was clear. I'd been changed forever. Days turned into weeks as my secret burden grew heavier. I'd encountered Jesus, prayed to him, and experienced his peace. Yet what next? Fear gripped me. Revealing this truth to my family would risk rejection or worse. My upbringing taught that questioning Islam was unthinkable, yet I'd been chosen. The weight of this truth was unbearable alone. Sarah was my only confidant, patient and supportive without pressuring me. One evening, we sat in a small cafe near campus. My hands shook as I held my tea. "I'm lost," I confessed. "I feel like I'm leading two lives. My family expects the old Leila, but that girl is gone. Something's shifted." Sarah nodded sympathetically. "I can't imagine your struggle, but you're not alone. Others have faced similar experiences. Muslims who've encountered Jesus and faced tough decisions." My eyes widened. "Decisions?" She hesitated. "Following Jesus isn't easy. Some lose everything, family, home, even safety." My stomach clenched. Turning away from Islam wasn't merely controversial, it was dangerous. "I haven't turned away," I argued weakly, uncertain whom I was convincing. "I'm just searching." Sarah offered a knowing smile. "Jesus doesn't force anyone, but when truth becomes clear, you must choose." Her words lingered. I wasn't ready to choose. Not yet. Soon my family sensed my internal shift. Mosque attendance became infrequent, my prayers hesitant. One night, as I secretly read the Bible, my brother Omar unexpectedly entered my room. Panicked, I barely managed to conceal the book. "What's going on?" he questioned sharply. "You've acted strange since the accident." "I'm fine," I lied weakly. "Are you?" He glanced suspiciously around. "You've been different, spending time with that Christian girl, Sarah." "She's just a friend," I replied, voice trembling. His gaze hardened. "Are you doubting Islam?" I tried to deny it, but couldn't find words. Omar's eyes widened. "You are. Don't, Leila," he warned urgently. "If Baba finds out..." I swallowed hard, understanding the gravity. "Promise me," Omar pleaded. "Promise you're not leaving Islam." My hesitation spoke louder than words. Omar sighed heavily. "You don't get it, Leila. This isn't only about you. If people find out, it disgraces us all." "I'm not doing anything wrong," I whispered. "I'm just seeking truth." He shook his head. "Then stop. You already know the truth." Did I? I couldn't sleep that night, my thoughts racing. Ignoring Jesus seemed impossible, yet embracing him risked everything. Kneeling, I prayed desperately, "Jesus, if you're the truth, show me how to follow without losing everything. I don't want to lose you either." A quiet warmth filled me, the same undeniable presence I'd felt before, a silent assurance. "Trust me." Tears filled my eyes. I didn't know all answers or the future, but returning to my old life felt impossible. The days following were filled with anxiety. I tried blending into family routines, yet each prayer felt false. Jesus' name was etched in my heart, but fear silenced my voice. Sarah continued encouraging me discreetly, sharing Bible verses and prayers, and quietly mentioned underground groups of secret believers.